and everybody doing up the essential and mandatory safety belts. And it seems to be taking a very long time. There is John Fulston, who's got his helmet off, giving some sort of advice to John Brindley, who blasts out of the pits. And now this race is going to develop into a lap scorer's nightmare, because from now on until lap 20, each car will have to come in and change drivers. And it's not until around about lap 21 that the picture will start to settle down again. And down then to only 9th position, and that's extremely good. John Brindley won't have to worry when he sees that smoke in his mirrors, because he will know exactly what the score is. And here is the battle continuing for the lead, with Peter Lovett in the Lola Mazda number 33 in his distinctive dark helmet, chased by Tiffany Dell in the Chevron B26. That's Mick Hill's car, as you can see for yourselves. It's a BMW M1, but with a very different engine, because car number 12, that's what it is, has got a 7.6 litre Chevrolet engine. Mick Hill has handed over. Kevin Riley is driving. Kevin Riley from Maidenhead. There is Mick Hill, just trying to work out what he's up to. He looks as though he's strapping down the bonnet as they get away. And Brindley is out of the race. Brindley has brought the big Lola into the pits area at the far end, just to the left of the picture you're looking at now, and is stationary off the circuit. In the lead now is the Richard Piper car. That's the with Tiffany Dell actually driving it. In second position now it's Mike Blanchet and Bob Juggins. In third position it's James Wallace and Andrew Gilbert-Scott then have got up in car number 46 to third position. Trouble there. That's a nose cone off something. Where is the car it belongs to? I imagine it's gone on. It's come off somewhere around the circuit. And there is the car with the missing nose cone, body top and everything else in the background. Tiffany Dell then, leading on the 15th lap. This is the half-distance lap. Tiff can only drive another 5 laps, even if it has been decided by his team that he should go the longest distance that he possibly can, because the driver has to change it off again. Well, that's really making a go of it. Now, let's watch it again. You can see the problem. The downforce was dramatically affected by the loss of the body, to put it mildly. Off to the left, over to the right, a very heavy thump on the Armco. The right rear wheel out of line, and there is the car that we just saw come into the pits. That's number 2, the Bartlett Kempton car, and with it, and that looks as though there's been a real coming together. There's I think there must be oil on the circuit there, because that's the Patrick Patterson Mallock, the front engine car that is stationary on the actual tarmac. And leaving the course now, has left the course, the Bartlett Kempton car. That is the Lola 610 with its DFL 3.3 litre engine. Now, the man that went off, it was the David Purley, Roger Andreasen car, with David Purley at the wheel, and that's a tragedy. Now, Tiffany Dell must be coming in, because this is the end of his stint, and they're waiting to take over from him in the lead car, and this is going to be really exciting, is Richard Piper from Greenwich, and on lap 20, 2/3 distance. The man that you are looking at is on his last lap in this race before he comes in to hand over to his co-driver, Richard Piper, and that man is Tiffany Dell. In second position, it's still the Lovett-Taylor Lola Mazda, with Ian Taylor driving now. In third position, and off goes Tiff. Well, he's just overcooked it. Now, has he done any damage to the car? That is the question. Well, Tiff will be kicking himself for that. Now he will have lost a few seconds' time. Whether it will be discernible to the people in the pit, I don't know. But anyway, now let's look at it again. Here's Tiffany Dell. Let's see what happened. And he drifts out there, and he just slid off. I'm wondering if his right front tyre is a bit flat. No, it looks all right. Anyway, Tiff motors on, throwing up a lot of dust, and now he's got to come into the pits to hand over, and that will be very soon indeed. Of course, here he is, entering clearways. Now, watch his hand, see if he gives a signal or whether he just peels off into the pits. He does it. Now, we will see whether there is any damage to the lead car, and, of course, there will be a change for the lead now, with car number 33, that of Peter Lovett and Ian Taylor, taking over. And Richard Piper brushes the dust away from the radiator aperture. Tiffany Dell already out of the car, Piper in it. Tiff no doubt explaining what happened. And here's the delay while the mechanics do up the belts, because that's something that the driver can't do. And as ever, Tiff, with a smile on his face and a look of some despair and embarrassment, takes off his helmet and balaclava. Well, he's done a fine job. He brought the car in the lead. Richard Piper takes it out, now on lap 21. And he is actually down into second place because, as I expected, the Lovett-Taylor Lola Mazda T594 with its 2.6-litre rotary engine, that's car number 33, is in the lead. And do not lose sight of the fact that the driver change in what is now the new lead car has already taken place, because Peter Lovett handed over to Ian Taylor some time ago. Two very quick drivers, but then so are Needell and Piper. So the lead car, with one victory in the series already behind it, closing up on the Dudley Wood and Barry Robinson Grid Porsche with its 4.2-litre engine, twin-turbo engine. And you'll see that nevertheless the Mazda with its 2.6-litre equivalent engine, rotary engine, the only one in the race, and it's leading by a long, long way, is going to rapidly devour the grid, goes through on the inside. The grid car moves over, courteously lets the leader through. Absolutely ideal racing conditions, and it looks like being an absolutely ideal event. There's the second. Now, you can see that's the gap then, because Richard Piper goes over the line in second place. Now, in fourth position, in third position, it's still James Wallace and Gilbert Scott, with James Wallace at the wheel now, because he's handed over to Andrew Gilbert Scott. The car that led is now back into third position, and we've had several different leaders in this race. We had Gilbert Scott, we had the Ecos car, we had the Tiffany Dell car, and there is the Wallace-Gilbert Scott car. So it looks like being a car from Class A, and here it is, soon to cross the line to start its last lap, that is going to win this Thundersports race. It looks like being a car from Class B, that is the up to 2,000cc class, that is going to finish second, the Needell Piper car. And it looks like being, again, from Class B, the James Wallace-Gilbert Scott car, which will finish in third place, although there is a very considerable scrap going on for third position between Gilbert Scott and Ray Bellman, the Ray Bellman-Mike Wilds car. And Mike Wilds, who is driving, the ex-Grand Prix BRM driver, is closing up on the car in third position, that of James Wallace, who's taken over from ex-leader Andrew Gilbert Scott. And this is the leader on his last lap, Ian Taylor. Not far to go now. From Hawthorns to Westfield, which is where he is now. There you'll see the broken cars on the right. There they are, as Ian Taylor on his last lap makes his way down Dingle-Dell, up to Dingle-Dell Corner, the right-hander, into Stirling's Bend, the left-hander, on his way then to Clearways, the last corner on the course, the sweeping right-hander, which he takes at about 120 miles an hour, into Clark Curve, then the Brabham Straight, where he will see the checkered flag, having won this Brands Hatch Otford Group Thundersports race, and indeed he has. So it was a 2/3 of a lap victory for Peter Lovett and Ian Taylor. They can feel very proud of themselves. But Richard Piper, now he's just got to get round the right-hander at Clearways, but there's this battle between cars numbers 46 and 45 for third place is the real excitement in this closing stages. Will it be the Ray Bell car with Mike Wilds driving it, or... And over the line they go, and it's James Wallace who takes that third position from Mike Wilds. So then victory for Ian Taylor and Peter Lovett in the Mazda Lola. Second place, Richard Piper and Tiffany Dell in the Chevron. In third position, the James Wallace, Andrew Gilbert Scott Chevron. And in fourth place, Ray Belm and Mike Wilds. Those four, the only four to complete the full 30 laps at this Otford Group Thundersports Trophy race at Brands Hatch.
Once again with Murray Walker.
There's the leader. That is number 36, the Malloch Cooper car. Behind them, the battle for second, and there it is. And the leaders are now getting in amongst the tail-enders. There's the battle for second. Look for the yellow helmet of Mike Wilds. There it is. And the blue and white car of Eddie Arundel, who goes through on the inside beautifully. And now Mike Wilds has got to do it as they come up to Dingle-Dell Corner. Great stuff. Eddie Arundel has got a benefit here. He's managed to get through the traffic beautifully. There's Arundel, second place. Now he's increasing the gap between himself and Mike Wilds, who is still trapped in the traffic. And Mike Wilds, meantime, in third position with the blue flag waving furiously to indicate to the tail-enders that they should move over and let the lead men through. Now, Mike Wilds has got the Kennedy and Keegan car right behind him. Now, look at this. Kennedy and Keegan in the Ford C100 are going to try and take third position as they go round paddock on this, the 10th lap, 1/3 distance. They're streaming up to Druids now, and they're through. The Kennedy Keegan car is through ahead of Mike Wilds and up into third position. So now it is a Class A car in the lead. The Lola with the 3-litre Ford DFV engine. In second place, it is still the Eddie Arundel and James Weaver Class B car with its 2-litre engine. In third position, the very distinctive Martin Birain owned car. Martin Birain, the London estate agent, is the owner of this car, number 10, the Kennedy Keegan car. So down to fourth go Wilds and Wallace. Still in fifth position, Ray Belm and Roger Andreessen. And still in sixth position is the Morrison Genvy car, John Morrison, Richard Genvy, who have done extremely well in the series, and the Kennedy Keegan car is closing for second place. And if they can get past Eddie Arundel and then stay ahead when James Weaver comes in, it's going to be a battle for the lead between the open 2-seater Lola, a Class A car leads, a Class B car second, a Class A car in third position. Here are the second and third, Arundel and the Keegan Weaver car. A really interesting new type of racing, and the object of it is to enable people who had what are now obsolete sports cars of the previous Groups 5 and Group 6 to use the superb machinery. And Keegan, and the Keegan Kennedy car now is right with Eddie Arundel. And the young Englishman, Eddie Arundel, there he is, 25 years old, and that in the pits there, as you can see, there is trouble, and number 78 is the Mike Blanchet Bob Juggins Lola with its 1600cc VW engine. And there's a new second place man because Eddie Arundel has been passed. There is Mike Wiles in fourth position. Eddie Arundel has been caught by the Keegan Weaver car. There it is, second place. So in the blue and white car, the Chevron B36 with its Ford BDX 2-litre engine. These are the drivers who won race 5 in this series at Thruxton, these being Arundel and Weaver. But they're out of the running now as far as the lead is concerned, although the pit stops may change the situation. And over the line goes the Kennedy Keegan car. And into the pits comes the lead car. Now, let's get the time as the Malak Cooper car in the lead on lap 15 comes into the pits. Stops. Out jumps Ray Malak. In jumps John Cooper. And meantime, there's going to be a change. The lead has changed. The Keegan Kennedy car has gone into the lead on lap 15, which is half distance. And John Cooper is still being belted into the Lola. And that, of course, is absolutely essential. Away he goes. And from the time the engine fires and he drives out, it is 25.4 seconds. And he now goes through, having lost the lead to this car, the Ford C100, which has yet to make its stop. Away goes the Kennedy Keegan car. Here comes the Lola T280, driven now by John Cooper. Ray Malak, of course, is now going to be doing a few press-ups and having a drink, because he will shortly be taking over the car of Mike Salmon, the Aston Martin Nimrod, which is down in about 6 positions. So Ray Malak is going to have to do a bit of daring driving to force the car up through the field. Past car number 86, which is the Tony Goodwin Alan Nimmo Coombs Sports. That's a Sports 2000 car. Goes the leader, the new leader, on lap 15. On lap 15. When's he coming in? Don't forget, 24.5 seconds was the stop for the lead car at that time of Malak and Cooper. And he's been held up a bit by the car that was going in just in front of him there. And here comes David Kennedy. If they take longer than 25 seconds, they're going to be in trouble. Well, you can see they've got the door open there. David Kennedy out of the car, Rupert Keegan in it. There's David Kennedy with his black helmet and his very distinctive red hair. And still they're stuck in the pits. They've lost time. They've probably lost the race with this pit stop, because it's now over 35 seconds. Into the pits now. Here comes Tony Salmon into the pits in the Aston Martin Nimrod. Now, I wonder how long their pit stop's going to take. We'll soon know. He goes past the stricken Peak King Crosschever Ford Escort. Up come the doors, the gull-wing doors. Out jumps Tony Salmon, well, staggers Tony Salmon, and in slides Ray Malak. He's now got to adjust himself from 3,000cc of Ford DFV power to 5.5 litres of Aston Martin car. Ray Malak, a very much underrated driver who has in the past been very successful in Formula 2. Nice steady pit stop this. 32 seconds is what it took. And now Malak's got a real challenge. And there's now going to be a period of absolute confusion for virtually everybody, because with cars coming into and going out of the pits, positions are changing all the time. But there is Mike Wilds, who is actually now the race leader on lap 18 out of 30. And he's got to come in and change very shortly. It's obviously been decided that Mike Wilds will do the lion's share of the driving, because they had to come in between laps 10 and 20. So car number 46, Mike Wilds, is very much worth watching, because he's going to have to come into the pits and hand over to his co-driver, James Wallace, who, if he wins this race, will be absolutely overjoyed, because he is actually sponsoring it. James Wallace, the co-driver of car number 46, driven here by Mike Wilds. You're looking at him, he's in the lead, and he is on lap 19 now. And Sterling Moss, one of the greatest Grand Prix drivers of all time, there is his car. Number 77, with Tony Gordon at the wheel in 20th position. And Sterling's got it all to do when Tony Gordon brings the car into the lead. And there past him now is going the Keegan and Kennedy car, number 10, which at the present moment, after its pit stop, which took rather longer than it should have done, is in 7th position. The Kennedy Keegan car, and it's Mike Wilds leading. Ray Mallock is now up into 2nd place in the Lola T280, having made his pit stop. Here is Sterling Moss taking over from Tony Gordon, the Chevrolet B19 with its 1800cc engine, the man who has won 66 Grand Prix, 16 pole positions, 20 fastest laps, and the brilliant winner of the last Via Emilia race in the works Mercedes-Benz. And there, number 46 is the Wilds and Wallace car. Mike Wilds, the previous leader, in the yellow helmet with the black spots around it, taking his helmet off as into the car goes his co-driver, number 46 then, Mike Wilds. And that is Sterling Moss. Look at that classic long arm position of Sterling Moss that he made so famous, with his absolutely calm and relaxed state of, and he's just been passed by the Frank Bradley Sean Walker car, who are at racing speed, of course. Sterling has just got in the car, he's working up to racing speed, and out goes James Wallace. And big trouble at Paddock Bend, and it looks like it's the Kennedy Keegan car. It's gone off, and not only has the Kennedy Keegan car gone off, as you can see, as you look through the dust, there it is, but, and I'm the car that it's hit is the John Morrison Richard Genvy car, number 6. So it's obvious that Rupert Keegan was trying to take the Morrison Genvy car as they come out to paddock. There is Keegan getting out of the car. He's obviously quite all right, thank heavens, as he walks away. But that's going to be a very expensive rebuild for Martin Birain to foot the bill for. The Mike Wilds car's been into the pits, and there it is, still leading. James Wallace now, the series sponsor, the man who races Historics cars when he's not racing in the Thundersports series, is on his way now. Can he stave off the Ray Mallock John Cooper car, driven now with the greatest of respect to him by John Cooper, whose lap times will be slower than those of Ray Mallock, I suspect. So we have got the two slower drivers, with James Wallace that we're looking at now in comparison with Ray Mallock, and with in 2nd place the John Cooper car in 1st and 2nd places. But it's going to be a close run thing, I think. The lead car is coming out of clearways to complete its 22nd lap, crossing the line now. And he is, you can see how close the 2nd car is, because he is right behind him. There, 36, the Mallock Cooper car, and on lap 23, we're going to see a change, and we do. The lead changes. John Cooper takes the lead from James Wallace. John Cooper, in the Lola Ford DFB 3000cc powered car. Surges past James Wallace in the Class B car. That's car number 46. So it is, as I said earlier on, a combination of power and nimbleness which is winning the day, because although the Chevron is an extremely nimble car, you're looking at it now, it obviously with 2 litres hasn't got the power of the 3-litre Ford DFV. There it is. And so now John Piper and Ian Harrower's car, number 69, the second of those two, have been passed by the second-placed car in the race as we look at the leader going out of Stirling's Bend. There is the second-placed car. And coming up fast behind them, look at this, as they come out of the left-hander there. That is the car that is in 3rd position. It is the John Fulston, John Brindley, 530T Lola. So on lap 23, the gap between 1st and 3rd, as there is the 3rd car, the gap is only 8 seconds spun off there. Number 91, the man who has spun off there, is the Gary Brabham and Alo Lawler car. Gary Brabham, the son of 3 times world champion Jack Brabham. Well, hello. That was a pretty dodgy move. Now, is it Alo Lawler or is it Gary Brabham? I think it's Gary Brabham that's driving at the present moment. But now you're going to see a change for 2nd place very shortly. You've seen a change for the lead. John Cooper in the Lola has gone into the lead. And there on the right, the enormous car, number 1, driven by John Fulston, has gone into 2nd place in the ex-Patrick Tolley, who is driving now in Grand Prix for the Ferrari team. But it's his 1980 Can-Am Championship winning car with 620 horsepower that is now in 2nd place. There it is. Is he with John Fulston at the wheel going to be able to catch the lead car? We're coming up to complete lap 24, 6 laps to go at the end of this one. Let's have a look and see what the gap is. There is the leader, and it is John Cooper in the Lola. Here is the 2nd place man, and I'll give you the gap in time. It is 7.6 seconds. Up to Druids. John Cooper. There is John Salisbury and George Potter's Skoda Lola. If you believe that's a Skoda, you'll believe anything, but it started life as a Skoda. But it's got a 5,000cc Chevrolet engine in it now. Now, here is the Fulston car in 2nd place. Lap 26, 30-lap race into Hawthorns. 620 horsepower, the 2nd car. There it is. Atlantic Computers on the side. John Fulston at the wheel. John Brindley has done his stint magnificently. And the leader has got 2 slower cars in front of him. He's got to get past them cleanly, otherwise he's going to be held up. He's passed one. He's passed the BMW with its Chevron engine. Past goes Fulston, and I must say that the tail-enders are driving with superb manners. They're seeing the fast men coming up. They're moving across at the right time. Fulston's car is coming up to the Barry Robinson Chevrolet now. The leader is coming up to cross the line. The blue flags are waving, which means move over. Fulston goes through and takes the BMW. He's over the line. The gap is down to 4.5 seconds. We are on now lap 27. 4 laps to go, including the lap that they're on. The leader, Cooper, he's at Druids. Down from Druids to Graham Hill. There is Fulston clearing Druids. And there is no doubt about it that the Lola is the fastest car on the circuit at the moment. And as they go round the left-hander at Surtees, it's 4.47 seconds. Number 34 there, Will Arif in the Porsche 934 2800cc is gobbled up by John Cooper, who's driving super. My goodness, he's driving well. Cooper, he's through the traffic. There's Will Arif behind him. There's Fulston taking Arif in the Porsche. Round the right-hander at Westfield, down to Dingledell. Fulston's got 3 cars to pass now before he can get a clear circuit in front of him with the lead car in his sights. They're coming through to complete lap 27 now as John Cooper in the Lola comes into the right-hander at Clearways. There he is. Now watch for the closed in, there it is. Over the line goes the lead car. Over the line now. Now goes Fulston, 3.5 seconds. We've had some good Thundersports races in the previous rounds of the series. It's not a championship, but none as good and as closely fought as this. John Cooper on lap 28. Now, to keep you in the picture, Eddie Arundel in the Class B car. James Weaver, actually, at the wheel now, is in third place. In fourth position is the Ray Bell Roger Andreasen position car. In fifth position is the Aston Martin Nimrod, driven now by Ray Mallock. And in sixth position is the car that was driven by Mike Wilds, in the lead for a long time, now driven by James Wallace. But this is the story of the race. There is the second place man, and he is gaining there on number 36, the race leader. This is lap 28. It's a 30-lap race. 620 horsepower under the foot of John Fulston, and under the foot of John Cooper, the 3000cc Ford DFV engine. I would estimate about 470 brake horsepower. It's not going to be one of the latest DFVs, I think, let alone the DFY, which has recently been produced. And there is the Mike Wilds James Wallace car, and over the line now goes the lead car, and the gap between Cooper and Fulston is 2.4 seconds. Lap 29, the last lap but one, coming up to Druids. The lead car round Druids is the lead car in the race. Then there's 1, 2, 3 others. They have got to be caught and passed by the big, wide Lola with Fulston at the wheel. Now watch him as he comes up to Surtees. He's passed 1, he's passed 2, he's closing up on the 3rd, and he goes straight through. He's taken 3 cars in one giant fight between Graham Hill and Surtees. This is the last lap but one in this Thundersports race at Brands Hatch, which has turned out to be a real humdinger into Hawthorns, and the gap now is 1.9 seconds between John Cooper. There he is, number 36. It's all going to be decided on the last lap. Mallock leads, Fulston second, Eddie Arundel third, the Mike Salmon and Ray Mallock car is